All right, we are live on video. Steve is racing back to his studio there. And it looks like Google Hangouts might have knocked Steve out. Oh, no, he's back. All right, Steve, unmute yourself. The chat room the app may be able to hear Steve right now. Steve, talk. Yeah, it'd be great if you were unmuted, though. I can't hear you. Oh, that's fabulous. Well, we have it set up so that when he fixes his audio problem, you should be able to hear him. Google Hangouts on Air has kicked me out 4 times in the last 40 minutes. So, and it took us about 5 tries to get Steve in, and it looks like he's gone again. There he's back.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Okay, talk again, Steve.
Talking, testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Testing.
Let's see. You talk again?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I think they can hear you.
I can hear myself.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right. Sandy says she can't hear Steve, but she should be able to hear it now.
Remember, they have quite a delay. They have a 40-second delay.
All right. Kevin says, I hears Wingman. And is that on the app? You guys can hear him, hopefully?
Yes.
Steve is, yeah, well, honey, I was hoping somebody else would answer.
Well, I'm listening to myself on the app. That's a valid test.
As long as you can hear yourself. So this is using a tool from Audio Hijack called Loopback that allows me to create virtual sources a la Soundflower, except it works way cooler. So I will be hopefully reviewing that in the future when I figure out everything it can do. All right, Brett says lots of echo on the Google Hangout. Anybody else have an echo? All right, I will wait 40 seconds. Yeah, it's always been about a 40-second delay. Okay, Nick had to restart the browser to start video. That does happen. All right, Nora says no echo here. Let's see, we might have somebody else. Oh, wait a minute. I know who that is. Love is okay. I'm just guessing that's George from Tulsa. I'm guessing. All right. Sandy says no echo on the website. Great. Okay. It is time for roll call. We might have an actual Donald Burr here tonight because the app got a beta update. Anybody who's in the beta program, should launch the beta, reinstall the beta, and that way we can get you guys to test it. Oh, I see what's going on. Brett heard Steve echo because Steve was playing himself back to himself into his own microphone. So that is an echo due to user error, not because of any other problem.
Hey, Honda Bob joined us. Welcome, Honda Bob.
Yeah,
glad you could make it.
He's been in there for a while, Steve.
Oh,
all right,
well,
we have Steve and Brett and Kevin and Dan and Honda Bob, and I bet Love is Oklahoma's George from Tulsa, Nick B and Nick G. Gonna have to tell me which Nick's here this time. And let's see, we got a NosillaCast with a number that might be Linda. Let's find out if that is. That would be fun. Wait, nope, they disappeared. We got Rose, we got Richard, we got Sandy, and boy, people are popping in and out. Nuris, Richard, got everybody. Okay, it's hopping in there. All right, let's do a little check audio here. By the way, so Nick G is new here. Is Nick B new? Or has Nick B been here before? Do you know, Steve?
Don't recognize Nick B, but he could have been, he or she.
All right. So, and Sybil sneaks in under the wire just at the last minute. Yeah, Nick's, you guys got to watch out for Sybil along with Kevin. So Sandy's in charge of the new kids today. She's going to show you guys around, introduce you to everybody. So that it should work out. All right, let me go ahead and do a test recording here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. All right, now we'll check playback. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. All right, I do believe that worked. If my indicators are correct.
I could hear it just fine with a little playback music as well.
All right, good. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and start. And we have somebody named Jay. Hi, Jay. That's a good chat name. You only have to type Jay to talk to them. All right, here we go. I'm going to start right there. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is, okay, I keep writing that backwards. I made a new snippet and I don't like it. I got to remember to fix that. I wrote the date backwards, so I'm going to screw it up. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, February 14th, 2016, and this is show number 562. This week's Chit Chat Across the Pond was something I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I entitled the episode, Pretend I'm Dumb About Math, and in it, I asked second grade school teacher Cheyenne Swenson to explain what Common Core math is, and then teach me to do arithmetic using it. Now, I originally thought this was going to be a big opportunity to really flesh out why everyone's upset about it, but it went in an entirely different direction that I did not expect. You can subscribe to Chit Chat Across the Pond in your podcatcher of choice, or you can go to the new shiny URL I just built today, podfeet.com/CCATP. Get it? Chit Chat Across the Pond, CCATP. Anyway, you can listen right in your web browser there if you want to listen to Cheyenne and all the other episodes of Chit Chat Across the Pond. Did that line in right? Yeah, let's see. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan. That's not right. I put that in the completely wrong place. I'm glad I checked it. That's supposed to be way down here.
Tacky Ted joined us. Welcome, Tacky Ted.
Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is, okay, Tacky Ted. Hi, Tacky Ted. Wow, new people right and left. We got Jay and Tacky Ted and Nick G, and possibly, did we find out if Nick B is new or old?
I don't think we did. I didn't see a response from old Nick B.
All right. Okay, so I got to go to this one. If you don't like mom's answer, ask dad. There we go. Here we go. Good friend of the show and personal friend of mine, Dorothy, is an extremely methodical person. Unlike me, she does not jump willy-nilly into a new operating system when it comes out. She gives it a few months and lets all the crazy people like me figure out what's broken, and only after all the angst dies down does she ever consider upgrading. Well, she found herself in the enviable position of getting to replace her spinning hard drive in her 2009 iMac with a 1 terabyte SSD that just happened to be lying around the house. Her husband, Mark, loves hardware and was itching to pull the glass off her iMac and give her this upgrade. She figured this might be a good opportunity to do some serious house cleaning, so she decided to do a clean install on that new SSD. Then she figured if she's doing a clean install, she might as well take that leap and go to El Capitan. But remember, she's methodical. Some would say to a fault, but I certainly would never say that because she listens to the show. So first, before committing to such a path, she documented every one of her applications and verified that they were documented as having worked on El Capitan. She updated her already up-to-date backup and then let Mark loose on her machine. Now I'm going to skip the trials and tribulations she went through to install the OS and jump to what turned out to be a very interesting problem. After she had it up and running, she plugged her iPhone into her iMac with its shiny new SSD to let it sync. The sync started, but then it said that she wasn't authorized for some of her music. She could cancel or authorize or proceed without authorization, but if she chose the last path, it was going to erase all those unauthorized songs from her iPhone. Well, she had a big problem with this. The Apple ID that was pre-populated for this music was an email address that Mark had stopped using ages ago. It was so old, neither of them knew the password to that email address to authenticate into as an Apple ID. Now, before you ask, of course, Dorothy uses a password manager, but this email predated password managers. It was so old, she didn't even have it recorded. Well, the problem didn't affect all of her music, but it did mean that she couldn't play 243 songs. So more than $300 worth of music was going to be lost if she couldn't get this fixed. Dorothy does not like to lose money. I'll let you know that too. All right, no worries. Apple has a password reset option. Luckily, she had access to this old email account, and she just didn't have the password to the Apple ID with that email address. She had access to the email address. But when Dorothy tried to request the password reset, Apple's tool told her that Apple ID she'd entered did not exist. Well, she got, sat around trying to figure out what to do about that, but not to be foiled. Dorothy had an idea. She created an Apple ID with that email address and with a password that she knew. When she authorized this new Apple ID, iTunes still wouldn't let her access that lost music. At this point, she tried to use Apple's email method to get support. I've tried this too, and it's got this one really annoying question you have to answer before you can even send the email. You have to enter an order number. Well, what order number? She didn't have any order number, just an iTunes problem. She was prepared to grab any old order number, but she ended up using the El Capitan download order number. Didn't seem to matter anyway, because nobody ever mentioned that again. Well, the first person to respond to her email suggested that she go into purchased items to find her songs. Well, that's not going to work because this is a brand new account and there are no purchased items. Dorothy decided to take to the phone, and you know how hard it is to get us to go to the phone now and actually talk to a human, but she decided she had to call AppleCare. She got Charles on the phone. You'll notice I did not call him her little friend Charles. And anyway, she described all of the events to date. He went away for about 5 minutes and came back and said it was all her fault and that all of her music was gone. That if she hadn't created that new account with that same email address, he would have been able to get her music back. She tried really, really hard not to take it out on Charles, but she explained in rather vivid detail just how she felt about Apple that day. Now, I had the great fortune to hear the story from Dorothy the following day. And while I'm normally I'm the Pollyanna who tries to see Apple in the best possible light, I could see zero reason to defend Apple that day. We talked about solutions that would get Apple out of the loop altogether. Dorothy was thinking maybe she could burn all of these songs to CDs and then rip them back in. But later on, when I was noodling this idea with Pat Dengler, she pointed out that she probably couldn't even rip them if we didn't have the rights to play them. That kind of makes sense. That also made it pretty dumb what my other idea had been. I had suggested to Dorothy that instead of ripping them out and back in, why not just use Audio Hijack to capture the audio right from iTunes? Well, duh, if we could play the songs, we wouldn't have needed to do that in the first place. Well, the good news is that I had another idea that wasn't as dumb as that. I suggested that she think about when you were a kid and you asked your mom if you could do something and she said no, you just go ask your dad and see if you got a different answer. This did not work every time, but once in a while, you got lucky. I suggested to Dorothy that since Charles was useless and gave her an answer she didn't like, and frankly didn't make a lot of sense, why not just call back to AppleCare and see if she gets a different answer? You know, just like when you ask Dad and don't let on that you already asked Mom, I suggested to Dorothy she not even mention her conversation with Charles. Well, when she called AppleCare back, she got her new little friend Brian, and he fixed everything. Turns out that ages ago, Dorothy's husband, Mark, realized that he wasn't using that old email address any longer. So he changed the email address to the Apple ID address to his new email. So all of the attempts in the world to use the old email address were just spitting in the wind. Dorothy said that the authentication screen had pre-populated the Apple ID section with the old address, but she was able to just change it to his new address with his new password that they were using for everything else, and boom, she had all of the music back. Dorothy's very happy now, not as mad at Apple, except for maybe their training of Charles, and remains, as all of us are, angry that DRM keeps us from playing the content we pay for. In closing, remember, if you don't like the answer you get from Mom, maybe you should just ask Dad and see if you get a different answer. All righty, that looks pretty good. Let me see how that gap is. Oh, nobody's yelling save at me, are they? Has Kevin been yelling save?
Save.
Oh, thank you, dear. 2016. You were not muted for a little bit of that.
Uh-oh. Did I come through?
Uh-huh. I think that only comes through to me. That doesn't come through to the recording. So
thank goodness.
Thank goodness. 14. There we go. Right. List this a little bit here. That gap. And all the other episodes of Chit Chat Across the Pond. Good friend of the show. Let's see. George says, remind folks to re-download their DRM music from our iTunes. How is that going to help them? Still going to have DRM on them unless they pay for that iTunes Plus stuff, right? I believe. We talked about that a little bit on... okay, I did see what you wrote, Steve. Yeah. Steve is telling me that we are at an all-time high on Alpha Geek Radio. Hello to all the Alpha Geek Radio people. as I hiccup. All right, let me shrink that up a little bit. We're at an all-time high. That's very exciting. Or if you want to listen to Cheyenne and all the other episodes of Chit Chat Across the Pond. Good friend of the show. I don't know that that's true, George. George, doggone it. Now I got the hiccups again. I got to hold my breath. Hang on. Oh, that's going to make a good show, isn't it? With me holding my breath. Okay. Oh, I thought I named that. Uh-oh. Why does that look like that? Is that the right one? Okay. Okay. All right. Steve, can you tell Lindsay to stop sending me messages?
Done.
Okay, thank you. Lindsay's texting me right now, and it's hard to not be distracted. Sugar will fix it. That's right. She keeps saying sugar. All right. Oh, good. Now I'm seeing your messages. Okay. Pay attention. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Just going to do a little quick intro here. All right, let's kick into some CES interviews. Got a really good one on Robo 3D printers that I think you're really going to like. All right, and let me add a new track. And it's down here, and it's called CES. Oh, God, tell her to stop writing to me. All right. I guess I could, I'm going to go in. Okay, and you're not helping, Steve. I'm going to turn off notifications. Do not disturb. You guys are all gone by now. But that means I will not get notifications from you, possibly, Steve, in the chat, in the chat room. So let me see. Well, it bounces. Moonshine is a good cure for anything. All right, let's see. I think we'd like this audio brought all the way down, right? We like that down about 6 dB, as I recall. All right, let's see how that sounds. We're really going to like. So there's a lot of 3D printers on the market. A lot of... Actually, let me check this pause here and see if you get a different answer. Yeah, that's way too long. All right. Different answer. All right, let's kick into some CES interviews. And I got to move this one up to about there. Really going to like. So there's a lot of 3D printers on the market, a lot of 3D printers here at CES. But I'm talking to Braden Moreno from Robo 3D, who says they're doing something even cooler than everybody else.
Yeah, the first year, this is our third year at CES. The first year, there's probably about 25 companies in the whole 3D printing section. Now there's over 180 companies in the 3D printing section. So for us, it's like, how do we differentiate? And what we've been spending a lot of time on, especially within the retail environment, is bringing content to consumers, use cases, things that open their mind to what they can actually do with the product. So
that's actually a really good idea, because there's a lot of stuff where I'm going, yeah, it sounds really cool, but I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's, the most common question we get is, what can I do with it?
Okay, this one is really, really cool. I'll give you just a little preview of it. Is they will they give you a kit when you buy it to make a prosthetic arm. And then the prosthetic arm gets donated to a kid who needs an arm. Isn't that cool? I really feel like we've already done the Ember Smart Mug, but you're sure we haven't?
Well, I'm going off of what goes into the folder called already in the podcast.
Yeah, but it just feels like we did it a long time ago. Maybe because we played.
I can go check.
Did we do Ember before? Oh, that's right. I'm an idiot here. Okay. Steve is off. Well, I'm going to do that now, unless... Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and record.
Nope, we did not do Ember. Okay.
You searched the blog?
The last one. I mean, it's been blogged, but it hasn't been in NosillaCast.
Okay. Gosh, I swear people have said. Wingman is always right, he says. It's really hard to find a way to stand out in the 3D printer business, but I think these guys at Robo 3D really have something cool going on. All right, speaking of something cool going on, the next one is a thing called the Ember Smart Mug, and Steve and I both really, really want one of these. All right, let's see. That gap looks a little big.
Appreciate it.
It's really hard to find a way to stand out. I'm excited that my audio is finally loud enough. All right, so Ember comes in there. It's going to be a fun show. We got a lot of stuff going on. Oh, where am I going to do Bart? What? Okay. I don't think I've... This is looking weird. Why is that not the same as that? Okay. I don't lose anything here. It's really hard to find a... really want one of these. Oh, why did you just play a little bit? Really want one of these. Why is that not playing? What is going on? Why are you not playing?
Steve and I like our coffee at 180 degrees.
I am almost positive I've played this before, you guys. I'm going to just do a search at podfeed.com and see if...
The only way that could be is if you did not put it in your text of your blog post.
But I'm not saying last week. I'm saying...
I've searched for 2 weeks. Actually, 3 weeks.
You've been searching for 2 weeks?
2 weeks back to 560, 559. I don't see it appear in any of the NosillaCasts. Back to the beginning, actually, of CES.
Okay. I just have
Unless
a real
you didn't
strong...
put it in the text.
Well, I would have put it in the text. I don't ever make a mistake like that.
All right.
All right.
Let's move forward.
Let's move forward. Okay. Okay, mute. Here we go. Let's take a little break here, and I want to talk about affiliates. As you know, I have got. Okay, that's cancel. So, what do you think, Nick? You like watching me screw up? That's what this is all about: watching the sausage get made. All right, let's take a little bit of a break here. I want to talk to you about affiliates. As you know, I don't have advertising right now, and I've been encouraging you guys that whenever you're going to buy something from Amazon, just start by clicking on the Amazon image on podfeed.com. And if you do that, a little bit of coin goes to help the show. Well, this week I was bugging my friend Pat to buy an OS X app I haven't reviewed yet, and she said, "Where's your iTunes affiliate link?" I had checked out Apple for affiliate links in the past, and it was a huge pain because for every time I wrote about an app, I had to go over and create a link, and it was a big pain. So I never bothered because if an app is like $1, let's say I make 2.5 cents, what's the worth of my time for that? She explained, slowly like a moron, the app you just told me to buy is $50. All right, she had a good point. The good news is, at least for me, is that Apple has some sidebar widgets that aren't too ugly that let you simply search from within them. I put one for the App Store and one for the Mac App Store in the right-hand sidebar over on podfeed.com. I don't expect you to go there for every $1 or $2 app you buy, but if you're going to buy something a little more hefty, let's say it's like in the $7 and up range, it would really be swell if you search for it for podfeed.com once in a while. I just did my taxes, and it's apparent that I do need to, get a little more revenue to step up a little bit more to help to support the show. So thanks for anything you can do. By the way, the ones from Apple are JavaScript. So if you have an ad blocker, you're just going to see a big old empty space over on the right-hand side over at podfeed.com. So if you want to whitelist podfeed.com, that would be really swell. But if you don't want to, that's cool too. Whatever you want to do. Okay. All right, let's take a little bit of a break here. I want to talk. Okay, I just swear I remember hearing it in my headphones from an interview here, but I believe you. Save. All right. So, Tacky Ted, where are you from? Did we already grill you?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay. Where's Tacky Ted from?
Tacky Ted is from Crossville, Tennessee.
I don't think we have ever had anybody from Tennessee here.
This
I'm not kidding you.
First.
I think it is. I think it is. All right. This is one of the coolest things. Crossville, Tennessee. If you didn't buy all that tax deductible stuff, you wouldn't need so much money. That's true. But if I didn't buy the tax deductible stuff, what would I review? Nobody's been lining up to give me stuff like iPad Pros and pencils and MacBooks and microphones and microphone things like the Shure MVI. Did we? Oh, I bet we forgot the Shure MVI, Steve. Oh, well, here we go. Actually, let me make sure this is in the right place. There are two things about which I am not fond: third-party keyboards on iOS and writing by hand. I'm about to tell you that I've changed my mind on both of these things. Last week on the SMR podcast, Rob Dunwood brought up the SwiftKey keyboard. I mentioned while I was on the show how lame third-party keyboards were implemented by Apple on iOS, but for grins and giggles, I installed SwiftKey again on my iPad. I'm sure SwiftKey is lovely, but on iOS, you keep getting kicked in and out of it, so it doesn't work on some things, and I don't know, getting in and out of it back in, it's really a mess, so I stopped using SwiftKey yet again. When Tracy Bossells on Twitter suggested another third-party keyboard, I was skeptical. She tagged me as being an Apple Pencil pusher in her tweet, which is pretty funny. So my curiosity on what the pencil and a keyboard would have to do with each other overcame my skepticism. The app she recommended is called MyScript Stylus from myscript.com. You may recognize the name. These are the same people who developed MyScript Calculator that was all the rage a few years ago. And after I've brought up this app, a lot of people have gone, oh, I still love MyScript Calculator. It's a fantastic calculator. MyScript Stylus is the most amazing optical character recognition software I have ever seen. Using the Apple Pencil on the iPad Pro, it correctly interprets my awful handwriting and converts it into accurately typewritten text in real time as I'm writing. It is far more accurate than me typing using the on-screen keyboard, and I'm not sure, but it might be even more accurate than I am on a real keyboard. MyScript Stylus installs like any other third-party keyboard. After installation, the user must enable it in settings. Once enabled, a globe icon is visible on the normal keyboard that allows switching between the keyboards. MyScript Stylus opens as a large gray box with a long dash line inviting you to start writing. At first, I was very careful. I was making very correctly little printed letters, but as I began to trust MyScript Stylus, I got more and more sloppy. I eventually degraded to my normal confused scramble of printing in cursive. I think my handwriting has been destroyed by so many years now of typing, and the last time I wrote by hand a lot, it was using graffiti on a palm, so, my handwriting's a mess. In spite of this, MyScript Stylus converts my gibberish to perfect typewritten text. Well, perfect might, it's not completely perfect, but it's really, really good. As you're writing in the gray box where a keyboard would be, you can see your scribbles being translated in your text document real time to the typewritten text. But while you're in the process of writing, the text entry area stays looking like handwriting. When you pause, it changes to typed letters and it slides to the left. I think it does that to keep from distracting you. So every time it scrolls to the left when you pause, that's a great thing because you never run out of space to write. You just start writing and then take a pause, lift your pen, and it slides over and you start writing again. So you don't have to write all the way to the end. You can write just in the middle if you don't want to be moving your arm back and forth. MyScript Stylus allows corrections in some interesting ways. If you make a mistake, you can scroll back and forth using 2 fingers in the handwriting area. Then simply draw a line through the text you wish to delete and it disappears. If just one letter is wrong, you can simply write over the letter and correct it. If you need a space inserted, you draw a vertical line between the letters and a space is created. To eliminate a space, you just draw a little U under the space and it collapses. I was going to list all of the languages available in MyScript Stylus, but we don't have that much time. There are 15 languages preloaded and about a gazillion more that you can download. And I'm not talking English characters at all. These are like Cyrillic and all kinds of cool stuff. You get to the languages by opening the MyScript Stylus app, not the keyboard. From there, you can also change the appearance, changing the background and ink color, as well as the ink thickness. Personally, I'm sporting a dark background with a light gray ink, which looks really cool. There's also preferences where you can change text size and auto-scrolling speed, but I messed around with those things and I did them all the way to the opposite ends of the spectrum, and it didn't seem to change anything when I messed with them. Not really sure what they do. MyScript Stylus is superb on the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, but it also works tolerably well on the iPad Air for me with a traditional stylus. The big difference is that a traditional stylus, I don't know, you get some jumping, and that jumping affects whether it can interpret your handwriting. So it's okay. It's pretty good. But man, with the Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I have noticed a few things that are hard. Symbols and numbers are difficult. And it's funny that numbers would be hard since they've got a calculator. Like I have often written a 1 where you do a line down and a little tick up at the top and a horizontal line down at the bottom, and it still makes it an L. So writing numbers is a little hard and symbols is a little difficult too. But you can always switch over to the other keyboards if you need to do a lot of that. So it turns out if I mentioned you can use a traditional stylus, but you can also use this with your finger to write if you're in a bind. I did put it on my iPhone for grins and giggles, but I don't think the screen width is enough to easily write this way. In landscape mode, it wasn't too bad. I have run into a problem on the iPhone, and now I've had it on the iPad Pro. It doesn't seem to like Safari very much. So if I try to go to, say, Facebook on Safari, and I try to write somebody's name, it'll be written correctly in the text in the written area, but what gets written into Facebook or into a URL area, it's completely wrong. I mean, it's not even close to the letters that I wrote. And sometimes the keyboard actually disappears, and I have to jump around to a bunch of stuff to get the keyboard to come back. So there's something funny about Safari. But so if I'm doing Google Plus, for example, I use the real Google Plus app, and now that's a much better way to use it is with the stylus. So if you're wondering how well my script stylus works, I wrote this entire interview with my iPad in my lap while I watch TV. With the exception of editing for content, it worked fabulously. I think I found maybe 3 or 4 typos or writos. I don't know what you call them if they're typos you wrote. Anyway, my only problem was that my shoulder hurt afterwards because I'm that out of shape by writing by hand. In the show notes, I included a video demonstration of my script stylus so that you could watch it in action and see for yourself how well it works. Here is the punchline. My script stylus is free from myscript.com. Yay! All right, I want you guys to go watch how cool this thing is if you haven't seen it. The cap in cursive is being left-handed. I'd be really curious if it works for you, Sybil. Bart tried and was not having it much happiness, but he doesn't have an iPad, doesn't have an Apple Pencil yet. We'll see. I really, really, really hate writing by hand, and I really, really, really like writing by hand with this. I wonder if I can do a demo. Let's see. Let's just open up notes. So let's do a new note. Okay, so I'm going to bring my brightness way down. All right, so let's see. That might be a little dark. I can't see anything. How's that?
That's good.
Can I see okay? Wait, that's what it's going to look like. That's a little
bright.
dark. Yeah, it brightens itself. It darkens when you're not in it. There you go. How's that? That's
good.
Pretty good. All right, I'm going to have to hold it up with my knee to do this. Tell me if I fall out of frame, Steve. So I got to switch keyboards. Let's see, switch keyboard. There it is. Okay, can you guys see?
So far, so good.
Can you guys see that at all? Probably not very
We can
well.
see what you're writing, but the text, oh, there you go.
Okay, well, stop talking for a second so they can see it. Can you see it wrote, hi, everyone? Let me change the, I'm going to change the thickness. So I'm going to, whoops, that's not the way you do it. I'm going to go into stylus. So I'm going to change the line thickness here. I'm going to do, let's see, ink thickness will go thick. And we'll make it, I actually like the theme to be dark. And unfortunately, you can only do gray text when you're in the dark theme. But now this should be a little bit bigger. So, whoops, there, I just misspelled hello. I wrote it H-E-L-O. So I'll slide over and I want to put a line in between to give me a space. So I'll just draw an L in there. So now it should say hello. And it just changed. Oh, it put a little thing. So I'll do an O. Hello there. Can you see this?
So what they can't see is
what's interpreted.
Right, in real time.
Yeah. Okay, there. Stop talking for a second. There you go. So pretty good. I actually put a bump at the end. That's why I gave that little thing. Anyway, no spell checker. Actually, there is, Sybil. It's using, if you've got autocorrect, it uses autocorrect. So a lot of times I'm spelling stuff wrong and it's just fixing it anyway. But it's big. You know, I don't think of the, oh, you're talking about 18-inch Galaxy tablet? Wow. 18-inch, wow. But it's free. That's why I can't believe this thing is free. All right, so let's go back here. I don't need that one anymore. And now we're going to go. All right. I'm going to play this next one. I'm mad that Dorothy's not here. This one is just for Dorothy's husband, Mark. And you'll understand why. All right. All right, so this next one from CES is a little bit silly, but I did this for Dorothy's husband, Mark. And I did this interview, and Steve did all the work on it, so you guys would have to listen to it. It's a little goofy, but it's still, I kind of like it. All right, Steve, I don't see it in the list. Smart and Blue? Sound Solos?
What's the product?
The belty one? Or did I decide? I told you I wasn't going to do belty, didn't I? That's fine. I'll go. I'll skip it.
I could go find it.
Nah, it's really kind of dumb. I think I had told you I wasn't going to do it, so I won't do it. But I got to take it out of here.
So Mark wanted you to review Belty?
No, he got mad at me for not talking to Belty when I went to CES last year that I didn't know about Belty. It's a belt that expands and contracts when you get fat. It's really...
What? And Mark knew about this in advance?
Yeah, everybody was talking about it after CES last year, and he was mad at me that I didn't know about it. So when we saw the Belty people, I said, I got to do an interview with them.
Wow.
It's really kind of stupid. Okay, so let me get rid of Belty here. That's okay. We got enough stuff for the good stuff on this one. Okay. Oh, Steve, find my picture of you and the girl from Urban Ears.
Will do.
So next, let's see. I just did Ember. So it's Zound, right? It's really confusing because Zound and Zound is not the name that you gave it. Urban Ears is what you gave it, but then the interview says Sound. Do you know why that is?
I thought so. Urban Ears is the product and Zound is the company. So there's always a subtlety whether we want to put the product or the company name for the title.
Okay.
What photo did you want?
Remember the photo of you with the girl from Urban Ears?
Oh, with me. How about the one with you?
No, I think the one of you with her is even better. I can't find it quickly.
I'll try, but I won't be motivated.
Okay, this it won't be your best effort.
It may not be.
All right, well, we just kick in on this one. Let's see how that sounds. myscript.com.
Well, I almost walked past the Urban Ears booth, but Sabrina was just being so darn adorable with these headphones. I had to go by and talk to her.
Yeah, I don't even know if these headphones are any good, but they're kind of cool for working out. But the picture of Steve playing with them was fantastic. Okay. All right, so I'm going to now jump in. What happened? I missed a joke? Okay. So the beginning of this is going to be Bart talking about the Backblaze and Adobe Creative Cloud situation. And I'm going to play the very end of it for you guys. Wow, those flowers smell really good, Steve. See the flowers Steve got me? My favorite flowers, but this time he got them for me as potted plants, so I get to have them longer. All right. Well, it's not that time of the... let's see. Is that what happens when it's selected? That's what happens. It doesn't... Interesting. I did not know that. Okay. I should probably save. Okay. It's not that time of the week, but I've asked Bart Buchatz to jump on for just a couple of minutes here to talk about something that broke this week. Evidently, you can tell my voice is really muted. That's first thing in the morning. That's what I sound like when I wake up. All right, let's see if I can get Bart, catch that part where Bart was being funny. Oh, there it is. I can see my voice laughing. I know my own waveform about it.
Yeah, and just a good example that the Google Plus community is a fun place to hang out, so people should do that.
Yes, they should. They can do that by going to podfeed.com/Google Plus.
There we go, and don't go to Facebook. Sorry.
All right, fine. After we hang up, I'll say something nice about Facebook when you're not listening.
I'm starting a childish rivalry between the Facebook group and the Google Plus group, because we Google Plusers are better, don't you do?
All right. Good night, Bart.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
I like that. I thought that was good. Oh, they could see it. So actually, sometimes you can see things,
I think
George,
it's
from
people,
Facebook.
It's only people who are friended up with you in Facebook.
But there are times you can see things in Facebook when you're not.
If you shared it publicly. I'm not sure you've shared that publicly.
Oh, I share almost everything publicly.
Okay.
All right.
Well, George, can you see? George won't even touch Facebook.
Yeah, you probably won't hit the link.
You won't hit the link.
All right. All right, now that Bart is off the phone, I can tell you how much fun we're having over in Facebook. I got to tell you, the Facebook group is really taken off. It's interesting. There are way more people in the Google Plus community, but the number of people who participate is relatively small compared to the size of the group. In contrast, the Facebook group is pretty small, but probably 2/3 of the people are contributing. So it's probably about the same number of people contributing in both. It's interesting to me to watch these two communities because I know everyone in the Google Plus group because we've been together for a long time. So they're, it's home, it's old friends. And then I go into Facebook, it's like, wow, there's all these people. It's like I threw a party and these people came and I don't know who they are, but it's really, really cool. And I like it a lot. So I'm afraid now that, as long as Bart isn't listening, it'll be okay. The Facebook group is pretty fun. And so is the Google Plus group. So they're equally fun. And I'm glad that we have both. All right, let's do one final CES interview for this week.
So apparently you did share that photo with the world so everyone can see it.
Oh, good.
Even George, now he has to go burn his computer.
Link works. Allison, kick him under the table. Oh, it doesn't fit in your purse. Yeah. There's an interesting bug going on that I just thought it was mine, but every once in a while the iPad Pro just turns itself on. They think it's something to do with the keyboard. Oh yeah, Nick Garcia. That's right. We've seen you over in there. So, that's a good question. Did you find out about the live show because of Facebook, Nick? That would be interesting. All right. Good night, Bart.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, now that Bart is off the phone, I can tell you how much fun we're having over in Facebook. I got to tell you, the Facebook group. All right, cool. All right, so last one we're going to go over and do. So we did, wait, is Smart and Blue, Steve, is that the shower head?
Yes, I believe it is. Do you want me to confirm?
Yeah, these names aren't lining up because it's called Hydreo Smart Shower. I think it was Smart and Blue. Do one final CES interview for this week. That's interesting how that works. Okay. Is it, Steve?
I think it is.
Okay. Oh, good. You saw that invitation, reminded you. Very cool. Interview for this week.
I live in California. We don't have any water because it hasn't rained in about, 8 years now. So I ran up to the booth of, it's called Smart and Blue, and I'm talking to Gabrielle Della Monica. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
All right. Great. That worked. Oh, timing's just about perfect. About 39 minutes so far. Oh, 41. Perfect. Actually, cancel recording. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions. I a dumb question a really long time. Comments and suggestions, you can do that by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. You can follow me on Twitter @podfeet. As mentioned just recently, check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community, podfeet.com/Google Plus. If you want to join the Facebook group, go over to podfeet.com/Facebook. If you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time, like Nick Garcia and Tacky Ted did just this week. If you do that, you can join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCast castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Whew. All right. That didn't line up. Let's line that up over move you over a little bit. Let's hear how that sounds. My monitor. By the way, I'm not complaining when I say my monitor is too big. I actually am complaining. Apple replaced my 24-inch monitor with a 27-inch monitor, and right now I can't wear the correct glasses, so I'm having to cream my neck up like this to see the top.
Maybe it's better to say it's too high.
Yeah, that's true. It's too high. Well,
if we
actually,
cut the base off, I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, well, if you see me going like this to read the left side and come over here to read the right, and so my audio is going in and out and in and out, that's nice. It's good.
Apple did not allow for change in height.
Yeah.
So why did it do that in the monitor or the iMac?
Stupid.
Bye.
Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. All right. So now back to the outro music, and we're going to send shift track. Oh, no. It's like, what was it? It was like 42 minutes out. Ooh, I might have almost nailed it. That's not bad. Yeah, there we go. So the problem with Amadeus Pro is you have to do a lot of stuff by eye. So I got to see how it looks. There we go. You can join the turn that back on. Friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Well, actually, George, not all Apple monitors and Mac and iMacs can take a VESA mount. You have to buy the one that takes a VESA mount. You can't just take any old iMac. I know you might be able to do it with this monitor, but the iMacs, you can't just buy an iMac, rip the stand off and stick a VESA mount on it. You have to buy it that way. I'm wobbling a lot. I'm wobbling in my chair, Sandy. A 2x4 to desk and attach the mount. Now, I need it lower than my desk is the problem. Get the problem? I need to be higher. So I tried sitting on a book. Finally, I got new glasses that work, but I have to, they're the glasses I wear over my contacts, if that makes any sense. Right now, my contacts are wrecked. So I got to get new contacts so that I don't wear these guys. It's a big old glasses thing. Steve really wants me to get LASIK and be done with it. He is getting tired of hearing me talk about my eyes. Bounce document to new file. I thought all monitors took VESA. You can't take the back off of some of them. You got to buy the right one. Isn't that unfortunate? All right. Wow, look at that waveform. You can't. File. Save as. And this is where I change it to an AIFF. And we are going to change it to NC_20160214.
Now, some monitors take MasterCard.
Some monitors take MasterCard. Oh, that's good. Ooh, I got to check the audio at about 30, maybe 25 minutes. I hope that waveform can be right. Let me show you what the waveform looks like with the interview with Bart. There you go. That Bart piece looks a little quiet. So I'm going to stop doing that so you can see my lovely face again. There we go. How exciting for you all. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I didn't even say that when I started out. Okay, where's NosillaCast audio? There you are. All right, guys, I am actually done. It is 5:49. You guys are going to get out of school early here today, which is unusual. Mine took Amex. Good. Open with. I'm an autophonic leveler. All right, guys, I think I am going to call it. Tacky Ted doesn't use Twitter all that much. So Tacky Ted, are you in the Facebook group or the Google Hangout? Oh, it's time to stand. That's good video right there. Oh, Sandy, I got a new watch band. Sandy and I check out watch bands. Check this out. This is one I was telling you about, that kind of wine colored leather one. Actually, that looks pretty dark in this light. It's probably back here. Looks a little better. Isn't that pretty? So you read Facebook. Okay, well, you should join our Google or our Facebook group. Isn't that pretty? I love it. It's about $35. Load preset. NosillaCast MP3s. Process all files. There we go. Fitbit. There you go. Facebook and Fitbit. All FBs. By the way, Steve, I'd like to give it, if you give it in this form, podfeed. Don't yell. Podfeed.com/Facebook. Everything is podfeed.com/whatever you want it to be. Podfeed.com/Facebook. Podfeed.com/live. Podfeed.com/Google+. That way you can always find everything. All right. Well, the top of my head's starting to hurt from having my headphones on. So I am going to call the show. And I'm really glad you guys came. But Steve, say goodbye so that this is so exciting that the app people can hear you.
Goodbye, NosillaCastaways. Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.